Hello, old friends, young friends, ageless friends. We've been listening to the meditation CD for a few months now. Wonderful things have been happening. We feel better physically. I feel better financially. I imagine having $50 million and spending it.
Or not. It's a lot of trouble.
I don't think about the trouble. My first question, the other ones may be a frivolous one. My first question is, where's the tipping point? Or have I passed it already?
Well, that really is the point that we were making with this ship in the canal, is that if you're playing the game the way we're teaching it, there is no tipping point that throws all of the passengers off the ship and into the water. In other words, it is a more gradual. It's so gradual, in fact, that your joy level just increases, but there's not the quantum leap from agony to ecstasy.
Okay,
and that's sort of what humans are looking for, this big tipping point. And of course, if you allow your tipping points to be vibrationally and subtle, then what you see, this is the way we'd like you to look at it. And you're the perfect person to have this conversation with, because you've been at this long enough that you'll really get this as we offer it to you. There are a lot of you that will understand this as we're offering it. The thing that has erupted in this gathering here today, that is really a momentous understanding, really worth focusing upon, is that the vortex, even though it's filled to the brim and beyond with all of the things that you say you want and that you do want, it will not, cannot, would not take you in prior to your readiness, because that would create sort of that tipping point that would be chaotic in nature. Instead, the vortex yields to you, reveals to you what you're ready for. So now stay with us. That's what the discovery, the delicious discovery of life really is all about. What you're discovering is not what you're worthy of. You're way worthy of more than you've discovered. What you're discovering is it isn't what someone else has assigned to you and now you're finding it. You're discovering your capacity to allow the goodness to flow into your experience. Are you following us just a little bit there?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, humans want adventure. That's why you're looking at cliffs to jump off of and zip lines to zip down and airplanes to jump out of. In other words, you want a feeling of exhilaration. And we want you to understand that the process works perfectly, because you were source energy. Here you've explored and you've asked for all kinds of things with greater clarity than you know. And that clarification has come into full fruition in this vortex and is there ready to surprise and delight you. And so when we speak to you about your vibrational readiness, and we offer you processes or things like the meditation CD where you relax yourself into allowing your vibration to raise, when that happens, the tipping point isn't a tipping point where a manifestation suddenly drops into your lap. It's a tipping point where you now rendezvous with an idea that you didn't have before, an idea that is thrilling to you to have. You now rendezvous with an impulse that you didn't have before, an impulse that is life-giving to have. You see sometimes you yearn to be young again, where you were discovering things for the first time. Jerry and Esther love being with the little people on the planet, the grandchildren, theirs and everybody else's, who are discovering things and having first-time experiences. And we say, this is what this vortex will provide for you endlessly, because while it's there and it's all there to be seen, it's not to be seen by you until you're ready for it. And so as you incrementally prepare yourself for the higher and higher frequencies, then the ideas unfold to you and life just keeps being more and more delicious. So you have a meaningful conversation, or a meaningful idea flows to you, or you sit in a moment of rapture as you are observing something that you've never seen before. Jerry and Esther have looked at this city many, many times. They lived in this city for nearly 10 years. They drove up and down all of the streets, and never did they see this city like they saw it last night from this revolving restaurant. And it wasn't the height of the hotel or the revolution of the restaurant. It was the vortex from which they were viewing it that made the difference about how it looked, you see. So it surprised them and delighted them in new ways. That's what we want you to understand, that creation is about the discovery of what you've already... Creation is about the discovery of what you've already created. How's that? Creation is the discovery of what you've already created. Creation is the discovery, or the allowance. It's the allowance of what you've already created, and the discovery of how good it feels to come into full alignment so that you can view it from your new, tuned in, tapped in, turned on vantage point, you see. There are not two people on this planet walking down the same street who are seeing it in the same way. And your vibrational variance is what makes the difference. Not your economic variance, not your social status, not the clothes that you're wearing, not where you're standing in the moment, not the way the wind is blowing, and not the hotel room window that you're looking out of. It's the vibrational position from which you view life that is the never-ending, always unfolding, eternally unfolding, excellent life experience that you are all about. You have come to experience a rapturous life experience that is waiting for you in the vortex. Your work is simple. Just get happy about this and happy about that, and name 10 things you like about this and 10 things you like about that, and listen to a meditation CD and graze with the horses, and look for ways to feel good, and compliment when you can, but don't force a compliment ever. Offer effort if it feels good and is inspired, but don't push yourself ever. In other words, get in the flow of the energy that is you, and let your vortex lead you to the adventure and the unfolding of all that you are capable of. And understand that the vortex is going to continue to expand. So your work is threefold. Sift and sort and ask. The source part of you will shine the light bright, and then you just feel the vibe and lean in the direction of it and revel in it every chance you get. Complain never, compliment as much as you can. Look at what is, just briefly enough to appreciate where you stand, and then look forward into the adventure of what's coming next. And live happily ever after in this physical body in the way that you've intended to do it, you see. And then others who are watching you, they will be amazed at what they see. They won't see big tipping points. They'll just see this steady excursion through joyous life experience. They will say to you, who are you? How is it that it happens to you in the way that it does? Who are you sleeping with?
They don't
Abraham.
ask that.
I'm sleeping with Abraham. Enough?
Yeah. I have to say that Esther and Jerry have hit a home run with this meditation CD. I mean, it's out of the park. It is just fantastic.
Well, let's talk again. Let's talk again about why that is. Because it distracts you from the resistant thoughts, which were the only thing that were holding you out. And each time you hear it, your potential to move to a new level and then hear new things. And so there's never-ending discovery, even in this one recording, never-ending discovery of what you really know. Because you know, and then you know, and then you know, and then you know. But when you know, in other words, as you come into the fuller knowing, it is always more satisfying. And there are at least 10 years of knowing on that one recording for you. At least 10 years of new knowing. Well, you are advanced, maybe 5 for you. Very good, very good.